Imagine applying for a job interview, getting called for the job interview, passing the first round and the second round of interview, only to lose the opportunity to get this job just because you do not have a credit history. And this is exactly what happened to somebody that I know. You see, your credit score is one of the ways that the government of Canada measures how diligent you are about your spending habits and about everything you literally do here. They will check your credit score. Your insurance actually do check your credit score too. You want to buy a car, the same thing happens. So if you think that you can get away with credit history or your credit score in Canada, think twice. So let's dive right into the video. 3 years ago, I landed in Canada, and when I did land in Canada, nobody actually explained how this credit history or credit score actually works. People told me about jobs, about how to get a job, how to pay your rent, how to apply for schools. But the integral part of living in Canada is still your credit score. Now, if someone had sat me down to discuss about this thing, I would have been very careful. And building a credit score doesn't start when you actually do need it. You need to build your credit history long before you actually get it, because that is what is called history. It's not something that you can just jump or bump into when you actually only need it. Credit score is basically what helps lenders understand how you have managed the funds that was provided to you when you actually borrowed that money. So in Canada, your credit score ranges between 300 to 900. A higher credit score typically tells your lender that you've been responsible about your credit score. However, a lower credit score typically just means that you're irresponsible and you are not to be trusted with funds. And this also translates to being rejected, and a lower credit score make borrowing money more expensive and more difficult for you. So I want you to think of it as a financial reputation. Look at me, I'm wearing this dress. This kind of tells you, it gives you an idea about what I am, who I am. That is exactly how this credit score makes you look when you go to a lender to borrow money for anything. You don't necessarily even have to borrow. Here is where many people make the mistake. I don't need a loan, I don't need to buy a car on credit, I have all the finances, I have my money from my home country. Because your credit score affects much more than you actually do think it does. Depending on your situation, it can influence a couple of things like renting an apartment, buying a car, getting a job, qualifying for certain credit products, and in some industries, credit check may be part of the hiring process when you're trying to get a job. This typically doesn't happen all the time, but it might be one of the things that would determine whether you get the job or you do not get the job, and that's exactly why I decided to make this video. At first, I thought people were exaggerating this thing. I realized that Canada's financial system is largely built on the credit system. And this is exactly why most banks encourage newcomers to get a credit card once they land here. One of the biggest mistakes that I find a lot of newcomers make is completely avoiding credit cards. Because many of us grew up hearing phrases like stay away from credit cards, don't collect credit. Those kind of things are okay for the country where you currently live, but when you migrate into a country like Canada, you need to understand that this is the exact opposite of what you were taught from the previous place where you're coming from. Missing payments is as bad as not having a credit history at all, because those NSF fees, that's non-sufficient funds, they will wreck you. It is, for some people, I think it's like $25 now, every NSF charge. So make sure you set reminders, or perhaps you can just use automatic payment, because even one missed payment can actually affect your credit score without you knowing. Every time you do a hard check on your account, there is a drop in your credit score. So have that at the back of your mind. Complete completely exhausting your credit limit. Why? They gave you 2,000. They didn't say you should spend all the 2,000. This one needs to drink water because, yes, where was I? Exhausting your credit limit. The fact that they gave you $2,000 doesn't mean you should exhaust the credit limit. The credit limit is to let you know that this is the maximum we can give you. However, we do not expect you to spend the maximum in your account. Now, the responsible thing for you to do is to make sure every time you're tapping, you're making payments online, make sure you refund the money back into your credit card. This way, you do not exhaust your limits, and this way, your credit score will continue to build up. Yes, it sounds juicy. You go to Walmart, you go to PC, you go to Sobeys, they will always offer you credit cards. But do you know that every time you apply for a new credit card, there is a hard check on your credit score, and that brings your credit card lower? You're not aware? Now you know. So make sure, if you do not need a credit card, avoid applying for it. You don't need it. I personally do not even recommend having so many credit cards that are not useful to you, just because you need to be very disciplined. Sometimes you use the amount on the credit card and you forget. You go to Walmart, you tap Walmart's card. You go to Sobeys, you tap Sobeys card. You go to Rogers or Canadian Tire, you tap the Canadian Tire card. And then you keep forgetting. Somehow it escapes your mind that you are owing on one of the cards, and then you're paying a charge every month, and you will realize your paycheck that was not enough before is now no longer enough because you have to keep paying back the debts on your credit card. So avoid doing that or you go broke. If I were arriving in Canada today, here is exactly what I would do. Number 1, open a newcomer bank account. Whichever bank you decide to choose, do your research before applying or do your research before opening the account. Make sure their customer service is also good. Number 2, apply for newcomer friendly credit cards if you're eligible for it. Ask your bank if you're eligible for this particular one. They can offer you, you never can tell. Number 3, use it for regular purchases like your phone bill, your groceries, buying gas, paying for your light bill, paying for your car insurance. This way, you're building up your credit. Then pay back the balance immediately or whenever that you can. If you check your bank account, you will see the due dates there. Make sure you do not pay on the due dates because it's going to take, I think, 5 days before the money drops into your account. So it will still not reflect. So try to pay your money that you're owing before the due date. This way, you can repeat, and then this way, you can continue to build your credit score. That's it. So it is not as complicated as you think it is. It's just you monitoring and paying attention to things, even though they might not seem important to you, but they are very important to you. They will be very important to you in the nearest future. Remember that building your credit score is more of consistency rather than speed. So, can I tell you something today? Your credit score doesn't determine your worth. It only reflects your credit history and how disciplined you're supposed to be or you are in the scheme of living in Canada. So don't panic if you're starting from zero. Every newcomer you see today, including myself, started from somewhere. We made mistakes. I personally made mistakes over the period of time, but over the years I have learned how to manage my finances, how to curb my spending habits, and how to be more responsible financially. The most important thing is understanding how the system works early so you don't spend years and years fixing the problem that could have been avoided. And that is exactly why I make videos like this. I want to be that person that I wish I had when I recently moved to Canada. So I'm curious, before watching this video, did you know how important credit score is in Canada? Or are you just finding out today? And if there is any money topic you want me to talk about, please drop a comment below and I'm going to address it. If you think this video helped you any way possible, please subscribe. Every week on this channel, we're going to be learning how to avoid expensive mistakes in order to live a better life here in Canada. So, I'm going to see you in my next video.